So I'm actually so uncomfortable writing vulnerable, personal lyrics. Fuck it, let's try. By the way, not every song needs to be extremely vulnerable, but we do need to push ourselves to do it when we are uncomfortable. We'll never have the skill when we actually need it if we don't. And for me, I've never needed any form of therapy, even though many would disagree. For me, music has always been way more than enough to keep me mentally stable. Vulnerable means addressing a subject or many subjects that are uncomfortable yet true. And it also has to be personal in some way. It can be funny, it can be happy, it can be angry, and for most people it's always sad or somber, but to me, as long as it fits those criteria, it works regardless of the emotional spin. Let's write a vulnerable, personal song. I almost always start my songs with either freestyling melodies or a single line or concept. In this song, I kind of combine both. The very opening line is voice messages. That was the first idea that popped into my head. You know, I think a lot of times when we're writing these vulnerable and personal songs, you have to let the subconscious mind leak with your pen, and sometimes you got to get warmed up. In this case, I think I was in like a perpetual flow state at this point. I already written like 5 songs. My mind's already gone through the motions, and even when I'm waking up, first thing I'm doing is writing songs. And so I was already tapped in that flow state, letting that subconscious mind just kind of leak through my pen, your real feelings, important phrases and images that you don't even realize are so important are seeping through the pen. In this case, it was voice messages. Now, what does that even mean? It becomes an entire song, and it's kind of funny. I unraveled the entire meaning of my own subconscious mind through this song, which I thought was really cool. So once I knew I wanted the song to be about voice messages, play a beat, and I just kind of hummed over it, freestyled a little melody. I started out with voice messages, just get straight to the point. When you have an idea, just kind of let it go, let it fly, and you can always change things later, but just let your thoughts and your feelings just kind of pour out. The initial melodies, the initial ideas are a lot of times some of the better ones, unless, like I said, you got to get warmed up. Then you kind of got to get into that flow state. And then once you're on a roll, don't stop, don't let it go. So the first thing I came up with goes like this. Voice messages. Alright, so that was the basic idea. I know it sounds weird, it sounds just kind of like mumble nonsense. It sounds ridiculous at this state, but that's literally all it was in its initial stage. And I wrote this song quickly. I wrote it in like an hour. So this song was very easy. I barely changed anything. Just kind of got it all down and it was done. It was very simple. And that's kind of the main thing I want to kind of preach to you guys is keep it simple. Let your mind flow. Be honest, be creative, be brave, be bold. You can always change things around, so don't be afraid. Just go crazy with it. Have some fun with it at the same time. Now you might think that's a very simple melody. A lot of times, and I know this is true for a lot of people, they're writing to a beat, to an instrumental. You gotta let yourself feel the music. If I'm coming up with a very simple guitar riff and I'm writing to my own guitar, then I gotta kind of get a little bit more creative with the melody. But if you have a beat, you just gotta feel the music and go crazy. As you progress, you'll get more melodic. You'll find your own styles, your own melodies. You'll find your own frequencies that you actually vibe with, and eventually just becomes very easy. You kind of find your artistic style that you like. I do it subconsciously because I know what I like, and I know I don't like very basic things all the time. In this case, sometimes that's the right choice. So this is very basic melody, basic scale. So for the intro lyrics to this song, it goes, voice messages I save to my phone. I think about the laughs when it's been too long. Old photos we both grown so much. Nowadays, you don't pick up the phone. We used to laugh on FaceTime hours on and on. Now I force myself to not think about what I did wrong. I did know for sure I absolutely wanted a very simple hook. And the reason why is because if the lyrics in this song are going to be a lot more personal and vulnerable than my typical song, and we're actually focusing on the lyrics, because a lot of times I like to focus on the melody. I like to focus on the sonic, the feeling of the song, not necessarily the actual lyrics themselves. I do think lyrics are important. I do like writing meaningful lyrics or funny lyrics or interesting lyrics, something to catch your ear, something to give you something to think about. But overall, the main thing for me is melody, because melody sticks in your head the most. That's what makes a song addicting, and that's what makes it fun for me. A song is more fun when it actually sounds good, right? This is a sonic medium of entertainment, so it has to sound good. Now, there's times where I am focusing on the message more, on the emotion, the vulnerability. I'm using it as a therapy session. In that situation, then I would definitely go towards the side of, okay, let's get everything that I want to say out on the paper, and then the hook can be very simple. The thesis statement of the song, very simple lyrics, can literally just repeat the main idea of the song over and over again. In this case, literally over and over again. The hook for this song is replaying old voice messages over and over again, over and over again. Very simple stuff, but the thing is, it keeps it very tied to the opening lyric, but the overall concept and idea of the song, which for a hook is actually very easy and simple and kind of genius when you think about it, because this is when people remember the song, right? Because once again, the hook is supposed to be repetitive, catchy, simple, but not only that, if it also summarizes everything and really gets people to remember your song, what else could you want in a hook? I was really just flowing off from what I already had from the intro. Initially, this hook was actually just meant to be like the ending of the intro, but then I realized it's very simple, it summarizes the entire idea of the song. Let's just make this the hook, copy and paste it. Boom, we're done with the hook. So this actually became the hook when it was meant to be just the ending portion, but it goes, replaying old voice messages over and over again, over and over again, replaying old voice messages over and over again, over and over again. Very simple. And now we come to verse number 2. At this point, I realized I want to go crazy with verse number 2. Because by the way, if this is a vulnerable song, this intro and this little hook kind of just, it gave us the main idea and the concept and kind of led us into a cool idea, right? We're talking about voice messages I saved to my phone, and they're so meaningful. I think about these voice messages, they remind me of your laughter, and these old photos that remind me of how much we've both grown. Nostalgic but sad, I miss this person. Actually, some interesting lines like, we used to laugh on FaceTime hours on and on. That line, it is true. It's very personal to me, telling a more personal side of my story, because this is a true story, by the way. This entire song is a very true story. But I knew that line, we used to laugh on FaceTime hours on and on, I knew that would be something that people could relate to, right? Like, that's something that a lot of people can relate to and reminisce on. And so I was very happy because, like I said, I was in a complete flow state writing this, pouring out of my subconscious mind, right? I'm just letting my mind just kind of write itself. And then now I forced myself to not think about what I did wrong. I know that one's going to hit people, bro. I like this verse a lot. And it's, you know, what's interesting is because it's more personal, I do like it a lot more. I can't lie. Even though if it's not the best song or whatever, if people don't love it, I honestly don't even care if people don't like this song, because not every song has to be a complete virality. John Mayer, he goes by the mindset of half your songs are for you, half trying to make hits for the people. It's a perfect way to do it, because it's like, now you're being unselfish, you know, you're trying to make some hits, trying to make something catchy, something that sounds amazing, but then at the same time, it's like, you're not losing the passion for it, the therapy for it, the real meaning of why this music stuff is so important to a lot of people. And really, that is the best way to get a broad range of songwriting. Like I said, I don't even like writing personal and vulnerable lyrics it makes me uncomfortable, but I know that it's going to be more beneficial. I know it's going to make me better as a songwriter. I know it's better for me, for my own mental health. So sometimes you have to do the uncomfortable thing. And, you know, if people don't like it, if it's embarrassing, so what? Let's just do it. So part 2, we got verse 2 right here. Voice messages turn into voice memos. Like I said, the first thing that came into my mind with this entire song was voice messages. Let's flip that and kind of make it like a cool twist to it. So voice messages turn into voice memos, which I thought was a really kind of cool personal twist for me, because when I'm making these songs, I'm recording the voice memo in my phone. So voice messages, a voice message is now turning into a song. I actually took one of the voice messages. I had a voice message saved onto my phone. I actually had 2 of these. One of them didn't make it just because it's a very personal song. There's a personal reason for that, but one of them did make the song. Okay, so one of them is in there, and I'll play the song at the very end, you'll hear it. So I thought that was a really cool idea. Voice message turns into voice memo. Watch my story turn into a hit single. And since I've been single, been reflecting and growing, and I don't know if you know it, and I don't know if you notice. Like I was saying earlier, I think I kind of got derailed, but I wanted to go crazy on this second verse, go full therapy vent session mode. It was very simple, kind of flowing into it, just kind of getting into the song in the beginning. Second verse, we're going crazy, we're letting everything out. This verse is a lot longer, it's a lot more wordplay, and it's a lot more wordy, and it's a lot more fun too, and just letting loose. It's a mix of emotions. Not just sadness, there's fun, there's hope, there's sadness, there's frustration, there's confusion, there's all these different emotions, which, like I said, that feels like a real therapy session for me. Like I said, it's a lot more wordy, and I don't know if you know it. Now, I don't know if you notice. There's some things I don't know how to tell you. Rap is by far my most influential genre, which is kind of weird because I'm not even a rapper, but I just can't help but kind of incorporate that sometimes into my music. My favorite artists are like Lil Wayne, Kanye West, NBA Youngboy, Meek Mill. Yeah, so a lot of times I love the wordplay that rappers do. I think I subconsciously do write like that a lot of times. People do tell me, Brody, your music, like you're singing, but why does this sound like you write like a rapper, bro? Like, and I'm not the best rapper, trust me, I'm not really a rapper. Like even this next line, conversations complicated, that sound, comp. I'm just now noticing, because like I said, this was completely subconscious. But I think it's dope, so I didn't really question it. Conversations complicated by the truths be the harshest. I don't believe in too honest. But truth come with problems. She say I'm hard-headed, so time to face them head on like Apache cephalosaurus. This verse there's a lot of like ups and downs, a bunch of emotions. It gets silly, it gets very personal, it's all over the place. But it is all coming back to one story and one main theme and one main message, as you'll see throughout the entire song if you hear it from beginning to end. That last line, time to face him head on like Apache cephalosaurus, throwing in dinosaur lines there, and it's like I said, man, I'm just having fun with it. There has to be some more fun, lighthearted lines for me. It's not meant to be taken serious. Maybe it's a little cringe, whatever. And that's the thing with being vulnerable, is there's gonna be some cringe lines. Like there's gonna be some there's gonna be some lines where you're like and maybe not even you, but the listener will be like, dang, bro, that's he really admitted that? He really said that? Being vulnerable really is just letting it all out. Let your subconscious mind leak through. And there's other reasons why I included that line. Like when I said, and since I've been single, been reflecting and growing, I don't know if you know it, and I don't know if you notice. Like that's clearly, kind of looking back on some kind of relationship, right? I've been reflecting and growing. You're evolving from this relationship. You got to kind of look at it, see what you did wrong, move on and get better, right? That's all you can do. And that's exactly what I did. It's just stuff like that, man. And I know that a lot of people can relate to that. That's the thing with being vulnerable and personal, is people are not going to relate to every single detail of your life. They're not going to relate to every single emotion you had. But when they do, that hits hard. That hits really hard. And so people really resonate with that. And that song becomes that much more meaningful. And even the parts they don't resonate with on a personal level, they recognize it on a realness level. So even the things that it's like, yeah, that's a little out there for me. I would never do something like that. I would never say something like that. I've never felt like that before. But they can still recognize you're human. You're real and you're being honest. That's the whole point. There's some things I don't know how to tell you. Conversations complicated by the truths be the harshest. And I don't believe in too honest, but the truth come with problems. Like, my philosophy right now, at least, is like, I just want to be as honest as possible. And for the last 2 years, really, I want to be so honest to the point where it's cringe. I want to be so honest with myself and to the world. If I'm going to manipulate you, I'm going to tell you I'm going to manipulate you. I don't even want to lie. I don't want to lie to anyone. I want to look them in the eye and tell them the truth. And that holds me a lot more accountable. It keeps me pushing towards something better. Lying just keeps you down and keeps you behind. For me, it's like, if I'm honest with myself and with everything I say and do, then I know I'm doing what I really want to do. And even the things you've done in the past that you're ashamed of, it's in the past. And it forces you to grow up. I think honesty is very important. It really does free you. Okay, so I'm so honest to the point where every action I do, I have to do it because I have to live up to what I really want to express and reveal, right? Like, let's say I don't want to be a coward, so I really have to be brave. I really have to, it can't be a front. It has to be honest. It has to be real. So you have to become what you want to be. I'll withhold information, but if you ask me directly about something, I'll tell you. I'm not risking people's feelings anymore. I'm not really caring about how people feel. In my music, I'm never holding back. Never holding back. Because there's one thing I actually hate, is political correctness of thoughts and speech. And I understand it, but I do feel like everyone is so fragile and soft now. But you're not going to tell me what my music is going to be. But yeah, don't attack the music, don't attack the art, don't attack the comedy. So the next part of the song goes, face him head on like a man, no more ignoring. Always on the go, now I don't believe in the tortoise. I'm chasing my dreams and cashing out on my God-given talents. I'm so destined for greatness, so I keep my head down and focus. Keep my chin up, cause life a blessing. Conquer the world with my passions. I kind of started to phase out of that subconscious flow state. Conscious mind was kind of pulling back in. I'm like, I gotta get to a more positive message, bro. This is too sad. So I'm very uncomfortable writing vulnerable lyrics. It's more happy, silly, positive, uplifting, motivational, where a lot of the rest was the story, the sadness, but it's like, I like it because it's very real still. Even though it is the conscious mind kind of kicking back into gear, that's very real. Like, once you unpack your unconscious thoughts, once you unpack a lot of the sad stuff that's flowing through your mind in the back of your mind, once you pull back all of those dark thoughts or just even uncomfortable realities of your mind, and once you kind of focus in on how you feel, okay, well, you got to make a change now. So now what are you going to do about it? And so once you get that full therapy session, breaking the third wall in a sense here, because I'm kind of giving you this thought process, my vent session transforming into redirecting the energy once it's, we've kind of analyzed everything. We've psychoanalyzed my mind, spilled everything out. We understand everything clearly. We understand the pain. We understand the sadness. We gotta redirect that, or just, keep it pushing, right? Like, life is not over just because you're sad for a couple hours looking at your old voice messages on your phone. This is so Brody of me. My whole mindset is be as conscious as you possibly can. Be as honest as you possibly can. It's okay to feel down the dumps, but you gotta make sure that's temporary. You gotta address the situation, but don't linger in that forever. So really, this is actually more of a positive message, even though it sounds very sad for a majority of the song. I've written songs where it's literally just sad and tragic, and it's just a tragic story, and there's no redemption, there's no clarification, there's no positive outlook, there's no hope whatsoever. These songs are all different. The last line is, and I know this is very corny and cheesy, like I said, I'm being as vulnerable as possible, so I don't really care. It's kind of funny to me, but the last line of the second verse. When you're down in the dumps, believe in the me who believes in you. I believe in me. I'll always believe in you. That first part of the line it's from that one anime, Gurren Lagann. It is kind of cheesy to throw in here. I think it has a good message to it. I've always believed in myself. I've never had an issue with that. Believe in the me who believes in you. Because I've always believed in myself. There's a lot of people who are insecure, don't believe in themselves. All right, fine. Then believe in me, because I believe in you, even when they don't see. I see there's a lot of potential in people, especially younger people. I've seen an entire vision where we're conquering the world. A lot of people, they resonate with that line in the opposite way. If God believes in you, believe in that God who believes in you. And then I kind of twist it as well, because I go, believe in the me who believes in you. I believe in me. I'll always believe in you. And then the second hook comes back in. It's the same thing. All I did there, I added a few more extra background vocals, kind of just singing my heart out. If it's copy and pasted, if it's very similar, I like to add a little something extra for the listener, just because I get bored. If you don't add in something a little different and you just copy and pasted the same hook, yeah, I'm checking out. Unless it's the greatest hook I've ever heard, unless it's the catchiest melody, I'm checking out and I'm bored. You know, I need a little bit extra stimulus when it comes to that melodic stimulus. And that's just my personal taste. A lot of people like that very robotic, looping, kind of droning, addicting vibe. Like that's like a lot of club music. But if they do like this hook, now they're gonna like it even more. And they might not even notice this until 30 listens down the line. But when they hear that, oh, I didn't even realize that was there. I'll play the whole song so you can hear how it turned out. This was just my thought process, kind of getting through the motions of writing something that I don't even like doing. I really don't. But you know, you just got to get out your comfort zone sometimes. Now, the last thing I will say is I know you're going to hear the instrumental and you're going to laugh. Look, all you Mexicans out there, what the hell is this guy doing with this song over this beat? How did this even come together? Look, I know I don't look or sound Mexican, but I am. I just forgot how to speak Spanish like 10 years ago. You might be like, what the hell is this white boy doing on this song, bro? Anyways, here is voice messages. Hope you enjoy the song. If you don't, hopefully you'll like the next song better. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on Spotify.
Voice messages I say to my phone. Think about the last when it's been too long. Old photos we both grown so much. Nowadays you don't pick up the phone. Used to laugh on FaceTime, hours on and on. Now I force myself to not think about what I did wrong. Replaying old voice messages over and over again, over and over again. Replaying old voice messages over and over again, over and over again. I'm the best. Voice messages turn into voice memos. Watch my story turn into a hit single. And since I've been single, been reflecting and growing. And I don't know if you know it, and I don't know if you noticed. There's some things I don't know how to tell you. Conversations complicated, but the truth be the harshest. I don't believe in too honest, but truth come with problems. You say I'm hard-headed, so time to face them head on like a Apache cephalosaurus. Head on like a man, no more ignoring. Always on the go, now I'm believing the tortoise. I'm chasing my dreams and cashing out on my God-given talents. I'm so destined for greatness, I'll keep my head down and focus. can keep my chin up, cause life will bless and conquer the world while I'm laughing. When you run